Hello there, time for some more XCOM 2 commentary. Last time we traded Murderous Mike for Praetor Mox in a rescue mission that I completely messed up. Then we killed a bunch of aliens and hacked a thing for the Resistance, which presumably did something, although the game doesn't tell you about it. And then we went to steal some alien supplies that we needed to get our first set of weapon upgrades, but we did lose our Reaper Elena along the way. Back on the world map after the fighting, we learn about another Chosen, the Warlock. He's operating over in Eurasia. We learn about him because I've made contact with Eastern United States and they got the memo about that guy from Europe. Anyway, right now we're going for the Alien Black Site in New Mexico. This is a secret alien base that we don't really know anything about, but we just presume that they're up to no good, so we might as well go and stop whatever they're doing, and hopefully the aliens don't know that we know about this place, so it shouldn't be too heavily guarded and we'll be able to get in and take a look. Our objective is just to run to the end of the map, essentially. We need to get into the base, find out what's going on the inside, and then go out the other side of the base for extraction for whatever reason. So first we just need to advance, and nothing really happens until we're actually inside the enemy base. I put our team inside the first building I come across, and then we sit there watching an alien patrol wandering about in front of us. They've got a snake and a robot, so starting to see some more varied enemies at this point in the game. The snake, the Viper, is a particularly annoying enemy that can draw your units towards them. But we're actually going to have the drop, quite literally, on these guys because we've got the whole team right next to them in good cover, so we'll be able to take a pretty favourable engagement here. First, Spooky Samuel throws a grenade down. That reduces the armour on the robotic troop. That means it will take more damage, or less damage. It did have 2 armour, so that would have meant 2 less damage from every attack. Now it's just 1 less damage. Nariko fires at the Viper and brings it down, so we're not going to have to worry about that right now, which is perfect. Means we're not going to get drawn out of cover by its binding attacks or anything like that. And the robot jumps in to the floor below us in this building. Constantinus comes down to try and get rid of it and embarrassingly misses. The Empire is truly going to be ashamed of him. Luckily he has the hollow targeting ability. That means that anything he shoots at, even if he misses, is then marked. So if we fire at it again, the next shot will be more likely to hit. So Crotch jumps down and now has a 100% chance to hit it, and he has our new magnetic rifle, which does tons of damage, so we just down the robot in 1 shot. Very impressive. So that's the first encounter dealt with. Now we're going to put OfficiallyDevin on Overwatch and be informed that the Chosen are coming to join us in this fight. It's the Assassin again. Even though we actually defeated the Assassin in the previous mission, she can probably spawn here because it's a story mission or something. There's meant to be a delay of 2 to 3 missions in between you killing them and them coming back, but apparently not in this case. So right now we're just going to hunker down with everyone. Hunker down is a special action that means you're less likely to be hit by everything for the following turn, and if you do get hit, there's a chance that the hit will only do half damage. It's a dodge, the game calls it. You sort of partially dodge the attack and it grazes you. So we just sit there for a while, and eventually the camera jumps over to show us that pile of green pods. That means the Chosen is almost certainly standing there right now, so we'll drop a grenade down to see if we can get the reveal. These pods, by the way, contain humans that the aliens have abducted. This is something from the first game. I guess they're still doing it. So it's a bit mean that we just blew them up, but I suppose we will allow some civilian casualties. And indeed, the Chosen was just standing there. Now she's in trouble because she's out of cover and we've got the rest of the turn to fire at her. Nariko pops up from this window and gets a critical hit, shooting through the window frame. Very powerful shotgun. Still left on 1 health though, so it's going to be down to Spooky Samuel to have the honour of getting the kill on this Chosen. 100% chance to hit, so no worries there. She's down, and now we can go back to the mission, really not having been too interfered with by the arrival of the Chosen. When they're on their own, they're not too bad to deal with. Next we spot an enemy patrol moving just on the edge of our line of sight, and OfficiallyDevin actually gets an overwatch onto this purifier. He gets the hit and it dies, so that's a good start. Killing him means the rest of the squad will be aggroed onto us. It does reveal us to all of these troops, but this is a good thing right now because they're now going to be forced to attack us while we're in our heavy cover and on our high ground. If you looked very closely there, you may have seen there's actually another alien squad just behind them who we temporarily saw for a second for some reason. Luckily they're not aggroed into this fight because of the mechanics being quite generous to the player. Now I didn't really have any good shots because most of the Advent troopers have gone into heavy cover, so I'm just going to be putting my own guys in heavy cover and using Overwatch to play this turn defensively, although I am also going to try and take down the robot because it's out of cover right now. We have very good chance to hit. OfficiallyDevin does a load of damage there. Now we've got Crotch down on the ground who can also see it and has a very high chance to hit still. I think it's because I've upgraded his weapon with a high level scope, so he just has high chance to hit on everything. Now the Advent troops try to advance and we'll be able to use our Overwatch to damage them. Constantinus instantly downing one of those enemies there. The next guy moves up and takes a shot at Constantinus, but from the low ground he has a low chance to hit. It kind of destroys his cover there, but at least it's a miss. Then the next troop moves up and he also fires at Constantinus. Don't know what Constantinus did to deserve this, and this time he does actually get hit by it, losing half of his health, so that is dangerous. We're going to have to look after him now. The good news is that both of the Advent troopers are now only in low cover from our perspective. It says that first one's in high cover because he's in high cover from another angle. But the low cover doesn't provide that much of a bonus, and when we have our height advantage, which counteracts a lot of it, we have a decent chance to just shoot them right there. So we'll do just that. Spooky Sam takes down one, and OfficiallyDevin will pop out to take down the other, making good use of our sharpshooters in this mission since we have this great position for sniping, doing tons of damage. And there we go, that's another encounter survived. So I'm going to move Constantinus down to be near Crotch because Crotch has the healing item, the medkit, that allows Constantinus to get most of his health back. Now we need to advance and find that other alien squad. Nariko can hear it somewhere ahead of us apparently, but when I advanced up, it wasn't there anymore, so it may have walked inside the building. We did though spot a turret on top of the building that we'll need to take down before we start advancing. Fortunately, we can use squad sight to make that easy. Our snipers back here can just shoot it from across the map, and there we go. Those things aren't very powerful, so they just go right down. With no sign of the actual squad though, I started moving everyone up. I thought we're probably going to have to go inside the actual base building at this point. However, they then appeared off to our flank. They had just walked around the side of the building and now they were coming back. So this is a shame. Now we're going to have to fight them on a level playing field. We won't have our building to sit in. Nariko takes an Overwatch shot as the aliens start scattering to cover, but unfortunately that's a miss. Constantinus also has Overwatch on these guys and he is going to get a hit on this sectoid. He won't be able to kill it because we haven't upgraded his weapon yet, but that's useful damage. Now we can kill it quite easily. And I did want to prioritize that sectoid because we definitely don't want to get mind controlled now, so Nariko just throws a grenade forwards and that immediately finishes off the sectoid. So that's a nice start to the turn. Constantinus actually can't see any of the other squad members for the aliens, but he can take heavy cover here, so once they get a bit closer he'll be better protected. Trying to see if a grenade could land anywhere useful, but didn't really look like it right now. It wasn't worth it. We'll use Overwatch instead. Spooky Samuel can see just one of them from his position, and I thought we might as well take the shot since there's not much else to do. Not the best probability to hit there, and he doesn't hit, so that is a shame. A rare lack of heroic quality from the spooky legend. OfficiallyDevin is now going to use a little trick, Lightning Hands. This skill lets you fire your pistol at something without it costing an action, and we're actually able to take out an Advent troop, and then we go back and use our actual action to fire at the mech trooper, doing some damage there. So that was nice and efficient, making up for Spooky Samuel's mistake, I think, there. Crotch needs to get into slightly better cover just because he's easily outflanked where he is, but luckily there's still heavy cover right next to him. Then we can see what he can see. He can shoot the Purifier. That doesn't really help. I want to kill the Stun Lancer since that guy's probably going to charge us and make an attack this turn. Devastatingly though, Crotch gets the miss, so now we're in a bit of danger. The Purifier moves up and just shoots its flamethrower, and as I've said in the previous part, this actually can't damage you, so that's nothing to worry about. Then the mech moves up, and we'll see now the true power of the mech. The mech has a grenade attack, a mortarish attack, and its area of effect, guaranteed damage, destroys cover, so it's as devastating as our own grenade launchers, and we saw there that both OffiD and Spooky Samuel were wounded by that and they lost their cover, but at least Constantin has killed the stun lancer before they could be finished off. Crotch annihilates the robot, so that's no problem, and now Nariko can shoot the Purifier, who is just standing out in the open in front of her, so the rest of the enemy squad was no issue, but we've now got even more wounds to deal with, and we don't have the medkits to actually heal all of this up right now. I used my last medpack on Spooky Sam, so OffiD will just have to survive with his low health, and now the squad in general needs to move inside the enemy base. First, Nariko takes out another turret on the roof by just running up to it and shooting it. Well, that worked pretty well. Now Constantinus will be the first to actually go inside. Once he's in, we don't see any enemies, but we do see what the aliens are up to. They've got all of their abducted humans, and they're bathing them in some form of liquid, presumably to make this thing in the background. They're refining some chemical, so now our mission is to steal some of it so we can find out what it is later, perhaps getting us closer to working out what the aliens are really up to. We did see for a second there as well that there are a couple of enemies just behind where that chemical is, so now we know that, we'll keep an eye out for it. I decided to put OffiD up on the roof where he can look down through this window into the room, but that actually reveals the room was filled with aliens and Constantinus just didn't see them from exactly wherever he was. He gets an overwatch shot on this stun lancer and misses, that's no good, and overall we're not in the best situation because we've just given the aliens a turn at the end of our turn, so there's not too much we can do, we just have to take some shots this time. Spooky Sam shoots someone who we never even saw, so good for him, doing it through a wall and several computer consoles and such, another legendary shot. Now OffiD isn't in the best situation, he's only in low cover, but he's also above the enemy, so he's quite unlikely to be hit. I could move him away, but I had a chance to kill this stun lancer right now, and I wanted to take it because that stun lancer is almost certainly going to just charge out of the base and start attacking people. I get a hit on him, but he doesn't die, he survives with 1 health, so that wasn't very useful. The robot now moves forwards and OffiD's in trouble. It starts looking up at him and it doesn't shoot him, it shoots at him. It does a suppression ability. This just means OffiD can't move. The trooper fires at him and fortunately also misses. This is very dangerous because on his low health pretty much anything will kill him in 1 hit. Crotch downs the stun lancer as it starts running out, so really I didn't need OffiD to do that shot earlier at all in retrospect. At least that's lucky, we didn't take any further damage, or any damage at all actually from the enemy's attacks. Now Constantinus can fire a grenade into the room. Doing anything against a unit that is currently doing a suppression action will cancel it, so if we just damage the robot it will stop suppressing OffiD, and that grenade also kills the trooper who was standing nearby, so that's all well and good. Now we need to deal with the robot and get OffiD out of there. I'm going to just put him in heavy cover for now so that nothing can see him, but I thought I may be able to throw a grenade down through the window to roughly where the robot was standing to see if we can damage it. Only problem was I instantly forgot where the robot was once I actually couldn't see it anymore, so I ended up just throwing a grenade somewhere and we don't know if that did anything. I don't think it actually hit it because we'll see it in a second again with most of its health still there. I moved Nariko down to this window, hoping she could see the robot from there. Apparently not, but I put her on overwatch, the robot steps forwards and she immediately just downs it, so that all went well in the end. There's still a stun lancer out there though, just on the edge of our line of sight, and he now runs up to heavy cover, and from there he can actually take a shot at Nariko. It misses though. Now I didn't want to mess around with this stun lancer, so I just got Constantinus to fire another grenade forwards. Didn't kill the lancer, but it got rid of his heavy cover, so now pretty much anything can kill him, and while I had plenty of options about who to shoot him with, I decided to go with OffiD. Since he had to put up with a lot being on the front line, I wanted to make some use of this position that he had secured so dangerously, and there we go, he gets the kill on the stun lancer in the end, so good use of the high ground. Now we'll just advance forwards a bit more. I wanted to get the loot that the robot dropped, so I'm actually going to take OfficiallyDevin down from his hard-won position to join us in the main room, and we do get the loot there, although it is pretty dangerous having our guy on low health now be effectively at the front of our formation. Hopefully it's worth it for this loot. As we moved up through the room, I put Constantinus at the front instead, a more sensible choice, and he does see the aliens who we spotted earlier. They're actually outside the base, and they can't come in because that red window with the bars is impassable, although I didn't realise it at the time. And it's not going to be there for long because I couldn't resist this grenade opportunity. We're going to shoot a grenade forwards, not only to damage a couple of those enemies, but remove the cover on 3 of them. So hopefully now we can capitalise on this and get some damage in. Spooky Samuel, annoyingly, could only see the enemies I wasn't particularly interested in firing at, but I'll take this shot against the Purifier just because it's here. In this case, the Purifier actually explodes. There is a chance that they will explode like a grenade when you kill them, which can damage enemies if they're sitting really nearby. OfficiallyDevin can see a nice shot against a stun lancer, high chance to hit, but I chickened out from taking it because he's also sitting in low cover on low health, and I was not sure I wanted to take that risk. Instead, I took Nariko's turn. She moves forwards and can see the Viper, who was also put out of cover by Constantinus, and she gets the hit, so that's very good. Now the game throws me back to OfficiallyDevin, and I thought, well, we're going to have to do something here, and I do want to kill that stun lancer because it's almost certainly going to hit Constantinus this turn, so I take the shot and we get it. Now we just have to see how the aliens will retaliate. Their mech trooper moves inside, Crotch comes up in Overwatch to shoot it, but he doesn't kill it, it survives with 1 health. Not good, because now it can use its grenade ability, and once again it's OfficiallyDevin and Spooky Sam taking the hit, and OfficiallyDevin goes down, just about. There we go, I was punished for leaving him in an exposed position. He needed to get out of there, but he didn't, and although he did damage to the enemy, he has now paid the ultimate price. Constantinus gets hit, and the game just decides to show me Spooky Sam here because he's worthy of some more screen time, I think. So there we have it. The situation has just got a bit more difficult to deal with. We've lost one of our best operatives. We can clear things up in terms of this pod pretty easily because they're all right in front of us. Crotch annihilates the stun lancer, and as for the mech trooper, Nariko comes and opens a door right next to it and can just shoot it at point blank range. Down it goes. But this does nothing to get rid of the tragedy of the loss of OfficiallyDevin. At least we've secured the room. We can now go for the suspicious chemical, and there are no more enemies on the map, I think, so we can safely pick it up. Spooky Sam needs to pick up OfficiallyDev's loot that he picked up earlier, so at least we still have that. But still, we can't take the body for whatever reason. You can't carry dead party members like you can unconscious ones, so we'll have to just leave him behind for the aliens, which is a bit of a shame, I think. Now Nariko moves up and grabs the vial of something that we need, and immediately the aliens decide to reinforce this position. They mention over the radio that the immediate scans of this thing suggest it's not dangerous and isn't especially remarkable, but we still don't know what it is, so we'll just take it with us, and I suppose that's not going to be a problem. We will have to deal with those reinforcements though. We need to throw everyone into the heaviest cover possible and get some overwatches going, because this fight's going to start right away. They're landing right next to us, so they'll be engaging us from the very beginning. Down they come. It's 3 stun lancers, a trooper and a mech trooper. And again, they're sort of cut off from us where they are because they actually can't directly come into the building from that angle, but they can see us through the window, so we can still engage each other. Constantinus tries to smash the window, but I guess it's made of lasers, so it's not happening. Then he fires out, and that's a miss. Crotch, though, gets a hit on the Advent Trooper, the lowest priority target, but I guess that's a start. Spooky Sam also gets a hit firing at a stun lancer, but he doesn't do the damage to kill it. That's unfortunate. Now reinforcements can't engage you on the turn they arrive, so we are going to have a turn now to continue firing at them. Now I probably, in this situation, could call the Sky Ranger to come down right in front of me and just extract and complete the mission right now, but for whatever reason I'd got it into my head that I have to go for the extraction point the game has provided, which is behind these enemies, so I'm going to fight them. Constantinus takes a 70% or so chance hit, and he gets there against the Stun Lancer. That is very good. Now Spooky Sam needs to kill a Stun Lancer too. He's only got a 60% chance of doing it though. He still hits though, because he is the main man. So now that those two Stun Lancers are dead, our chances are dramatically improved. Crotch has a shot on both of the remaining enemies and a pretty good shot on the mech. He even has a chance to kill it in one hit, and he does get that kill. So now things are looking much better. We still need to deal with that last enemy. I had Nariko take a shot at it. She only had a 50% chance to hit here, but she didn't get it. So now we just have to see what that Stun Lancer will do, and because we are inside the building and as I said he can't get in, I thought he wouldn't do anything, but he actually apparently can make his melee attack through the wall, which I didn't expect. It misses, so maybe my full cover bonus would have still applied to that attack, and he actually had a very low chance of hitting overall. Anyway, Spooky Sam goes outside, and now he can use his pistol to annihilate the Stun Lancer. Not necessarily guaranteed to kill, but he gets a critical because, again, he is the man. With that sorted, we need to move everyone outside to get closer to the extraction point, but another wave of reinforcements is summoned right where I'm standing once we're outside, so they really are coming down right on top of us here. You can see that this reinforcement wave was meant to be a trooper, a Stun Lancer and a purifier, but the game has also spawned a mech trooper and something else, I think another Stun Lancer, and that's because of the crazy mod increasing pod sizes. It works a bit glitchily with reinforcements, they're just sort of there before everyone else drops. Anyway, I had the whole squad in Overwatch, so now it's time to do the damage. We get a kill on a Stun Lancer. Crotch blows up a Purifier, which kills another Stun Lancer and damages the mech trooper. Constantinus pops around to destroy that trooper. We've already killed most of them, now it's just the mech trooper. It starts moving towards Nariko, and she says no, blasting it down. So we wiped out their whole squad right away. That was surprisingly effective. Having the Purifier be in among the enemy when we attacked them really helped out. And now we are going to be able to make it to the extraction point, and everyone who's still alive gets out, leaving OffiD's body behind. And that robot there even remembers two followers. That's Crotch's little helper thing. Sometimes needs a bit of persuasion to extract from the battlefield. So a win for us. We've got their stuff. We didn't disable the facility really, but we'll find out what it is at some point hopefully. 2 wounds and 1 dead. We'll have to make a very beautiful poster to inspire people to avenge OffiD. That was my best effort. Yes, maybe it wasn't the most beautiful thing, but it's still going to be effective. Well-deserved promotions all round. So after that epic mission, hopefully we'll be able to put the aliens' plans slightly further back. We'll see how the war continues, of course, in the next part.